So it looks like the Supervive devs announced the changes for the upcoming patch on the 8th a little bit early, though it's all in Korean, so we're going to be using Papago to translate everything. Should be fun. Hello, we are the Korean Supervive team. Today I'm going to tell you about the Season 0 you've been waiting for, matchmaking, and improvements to the rank system. Perfect. So about Season 0. To be exact, Season 0 is not an official release. If I had to define it, I think it would be right to call it early access, which is the middle stage between beta testing and official release. However, that doesn't mean there won't be much change. Season 0 has new things to enjoy and improvements to solve the problems identified by conducting open beta testing. I'll explain more in detail below. So they're treating this as a phase past the beta test, which is, I guess, what we've been doing up until this point. And now they're saying it's more early access. So they want the game to be more polished at this state using the feedback that they have from the beta test. Let's see what they've changed. The goal of Supervive is a fun game that gives you a new fun without getting tired of playing it for 10,000 hours. This is also the standard for the official release of Season 1.0. The official release of version 1.0 is scheduled for the second half of 2025. That's good to know though. Second half of 2025, they want the game to be like fully done essentially. Or like polished enough to where people want to play it. And I'm assuming that's when they're going to make like the big advertising push too and start actually like marketing it towards people. So we get an influx of players coming in at that time. That's good to know, second half of 2025. That's actually not that far away. To reach that standard, we focused on increasing the game's completeness throughout Season 0. We will reflect valuable feedback from our players in the game. All right, cool. I think that's everything through here. Yeah, they're just showing like skins and stuff. Ranked. This is a new character, Bibo. All right, cool. Season 0 Arc 1 is Vivo's Warp Tour. The first protagonist is the dimensional traveler Vivo, and you can play it right at the start of Season 0. With the advent of Vivo, new terrain and devices related to the warp have emerged on the map. You can also see the fourth equipment evolution, power, and monsters that are distorted in the dimension. I think they have accompanying visuals here for it, right? So yeah, you can see the map has changed here. It has like different colors and stuff. They're adding new areas and whatnot. So like, yeah, this is a revamp of like Scavenger Bay, for example. We saw a little extension onto Academy. So there's going to be stuff like this over here. So that's going to be cool. New map, new things to learn. New wall stickies for Ghost. Hey, yo. And then this right here, they're showing that you get a fourth option occasionally. That looked like a helmet though when you have a weapon. That's kind of cringe. Oh no, it wasn't. They're just using it as a placeholder. Huh, weird. And then they have things here like this is a warp that's just like randomly on the map that you can take to like run around and be stupid. Does it show you where the warp goes? It does. All right, that's cool. And then they have other warps on the map too, like this one that like ports you a little bit forward, and I think the direction where you're moving. So like there's this one right here where everyone goes into the heart. That's for these. Those are the little warps and whatnot, the things that they're changing with the map, and then the extra equipment you're getting as well. This is a little bit scuffed, by the way, because it's all in Korean. Unfortunate, I don't think they have an English release of the notes yet. Oh well, let's continue. Changes to the Season 0 update. For players who have gotten bored of fighting on the same battlefield, I've refurbished the breach to a distorted dimension. Fourth evolutionary equipment option. We've introduced new equipment evolution, so players can create variables in the game with different options. Oh, that's the... Alright, these are the accompanying visual for those. These are like these. Okay. But we already went over those. Sure, you can visualize it in your head. Teleport objects. Introduced a variety of features to give more variables in skirmishes. Panic your opponent's squad with unpredictable tactics. Efforts to improving matchmaking. And there are also changes to the game system for Season 0. First, I'm going to close the duo mode for now and focus on the squad mode. A lot of Korean players are playing around the squad. I like this personally. This is actually something I advocated for because they don't actually plan on balancing around duos. They want to balance around squads. So the way the game is shaped right now, they're essentially splitting the player base between duos and squads. And obviously more players play squads, so that kind of shafts the duos experience twice over because one, they're not getting balances, so duos is extremely imbalanced. And two, there's much less players, which leads to high queue times. I had Height show me his queue earlier, and actually let me pull this up real quick. Yeah. So like duos is basically already out of the game already. They just need to officialize it by actually removing it from the game. You pretty much can't queue it if you're at a certain rank. It's kind of messed up. Really sorry for those who prefer a duo. In order to provide better matchmaking quality, we decided to run squad intensively for the time being. I'm not closing the duo completely. After the integration, I'm going to tell you next. Arena and duo will be back, so don't be too upset. I'm fine with them doing it like this. I'm not a fan of Arena closing down, but I mean, I guess that kind of ties into the duo taking away players from squads. I guess Arena is too. The reason why I like Arena so much is it's so easy to practice mechanics in it so quickly because the fights in squads are so sparse. You see me on my stream all the time. I play Arena way more than I play squads just because I want the fast games to be able to practice my mechanics quickly and just boom, 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 hammer, hammer, hammer mechanics, right? But that's because my goal is to improve. If your goal is just to get games and your goal is to have fun, honestly, I think the squads mode is the way to go. So the fact that they're concentrating fully on squads and turning down the other modes, that way everyone is forced to queue squads, I think gets all of the player base in line with queuing squads only, which makes it so the matchmaking issues aren't as big of an issue, which I like a lot. It also makes it so technically you'd get more games too, because you would have less queue times, right? So technically you get more practice in squads from this as well. We further refined the logic of matchmaking to reduce the frequency of players with large MMR gaps being caught in the same match. As the conditions for exploring matchmaking have been refined, the waiting time required for matchmaking will be slightly longer. I'm a fan of this because, I mean, if you watch our games with squads, if I'm not in a 4-stack, then a lot of the time you'll see even like gold players, silver players will end up on our team, right? And we're all the way up in GM Legend territory, so it's pretty wrong for players in that low of an MMR bracket to end up in our games in the first place. I would rather just take the longer queue times. I would rather just say that we're just not going to get games as often, not be able to play as much, and have higher quality games because we're playing against higher rated opponents than farming either like bot games or farming gold players. That's just not fun to me. I don't like that. So I like this change. And it's better for the new players too, because they end up complaining less about getting farmed by legend stacks. Love that. However, in order to prevent excessive latency, the search is gradually expanded after 5 minutes. After the action, we plan to closely monitor matchmaking and respond immediately if necessary. They did do this during the beta. They did try to fix matchmaking. The way they did it, I think, was wrong. One of the changes they made was the change to make it so you can match overseas, and you just play on infinite ping. That was giga cringe. Another change they made is they made it so the rank disparity was like super large, or like playing with unranked players. Not a fan of those things. Hoping that this season will have a lot more tight matchmaking, which they did hint at, but I'm hoping it's like actually tight and not like, oh yeah, gold players still get in our games, but now silvers and bronze can't get in our games if we're in legend. I'm hoping it's like, at most, master players can get in our games. I want it to be like that. The rank system is one of the most focused changes we made in Season 0. When Season 0 patch is applied, all players' ranks will be initialized and start at Bronze 4, so we're all starting on an even playing field. Nice. The first rank you're participating in is Season 0 Arc 1. The arc I briefly explained earlier is kind of a split with different themes. So you're going to have 3 arcs for the season. Each arc lasts about 3 months. 3 arcs. Every time the arc ends, rewards will be paid according to the rank tier achieved by the player, and changes will be made to the rank system. I'll explain more specific plans in the Season 0 patch notes soon. I'm assuming those are coming in about 2 days right before the patch, because the patch itself is on the 8th right here on Wednesday. One of the main keywords of feedback given by many players during the OBT was the need for a fair ranked game. Providing fair competition is also our top priority. That's why we've taken various steps to improve Season 0, and I'll explain it one by one. First, adjust top rank tier participation points. In OBT, regardless of the current accumulated rank points, depending on the tier, since it was structured in a way where you paid fixed participation points and participated in the match, high skill players were able to build their RP endlessly and reliably by playing many matches. That sounds like the leaderboard right now. Yeah, we have fight at like 26k or something. The way other games work in battle royales is you still have the anti-system, not anti. You have the anti-system, but the anti-system scales with how big your RP goes. So that sounds like what they're doing here. In the aftermath, RP inflation occurs at the top tier, and the value of the top tier, such as legend, decreases. So from this season, we adjust the participation points at the top rank tier in order to achieve and maintain the top tier. In order to achieve and maintain the top tier, measures were taken to increase the importance of skills rather than simple additions. Players above Grandmaster tier will have 1 entry point increase for every 200 RP. Second, improving your solo queue experience. To improve solo players' experience in ranked, apply a discount to ranked game participation points in the solo quiz. We're preparing to get additional RP from the map. So it sounds like they want solo players to put in less because they're in a solo queue environment instead of stack players, and then you get more if you end up winning. That's pretty cool. But that still means stacking is going to stay in the game, right? Which I kind of wanted them to do, or remove rather. The move aims to compensate for any disadvantages when facing a 4-person party squad. We're conducting the test internally, and as soon as we are ready, we will guide you through the patch notes in detail. Of course, separating solo and multi-queue is the obvious solution, like the feedback from players. Supervive is still growing with their love and interest. There's not enough players, so there are practical difficulties. Change the RP requirements for tier promotion. I was surprised to see a Korean player elevate the rank much faster than we expected while proceeding with the OBT. Even when the server integration is complete, everything you played and what you had remains the same. The way the game is run will be the same, and there will be events dedicated to Korea. From now on then, you can finally play with global players as well. Of course, our Korean players are the strongest. Please wait a little longer until server consolidation. Finally, I would like to thank players who participated in OBT from the bottom of my heart. Please join us on the journey to Supervive, which will develop further following Season 0. We will continue to run hard, imagining the future for Korean players to win world competitions someday. So it sounds like they are going to have world competition. I can be world champion in another game. Damn, that sounds like fun. A little bit of nice things in here. One of the biggest things that I wanted was them to close down duos. A little bit sad that Arena is getting closed down, but if they're closing down duos, I understand it. It just sucks for me specifically because I like Arena for practicing and improving really fast. But I think it's a healthy change for the game as a whole. I do like that they're consolidating everything into the squads experience. That's great for us. I'm glad they're focusing on squads and understanding that if they split up game modes, that's going to be bad for the player base as a whole, and they just don't have the resources or player base right now to be able to do that. That's good for us. Some of the changes I don't like, I'm not a fan of the fact that they're leaving 4Q in the game. I know that they're trying to make the solo queue experience better by making your RP points more favorable for you for your solo player, but I still think I would rather just they get rid of 4 stacking and they only have like duoing or something, right? I'd be more fine with duoing only being in the game. I think 4 stacking is pretty cringe, but I mean, I guess if it's in the game, I'll be doing it, unfortunately. And not much to say. They didn't really give us too much more new information. They just confirmed everything that they were going to do here, but this is mostly stuff they already announced, like all this portal stuff, this stuff, the 4th item, all this stuff is just stuff that they said they were going to do earlier. But nice to see that they're making improvements towards the future, and I like probably 90% of what I see in here. So that's a good sign for the future. That's all for today. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content. I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/Rhinne. And until next time, take care.